Hey everyone, welcome back to the RPGames YouTube channel. My name is Ralph and this is Pathfinder Kingmaker, and we are going to continue with a couple of events, and I want to rank up one of my stats once more. So in the past episode you saw that we built up Tarkandor. We did a few buildings in the capital in Solistar. But now we need to fix a few problems. So let's take a quick look. Bandits Outrage. We're gonna send Amiri on that one. The Gambler. We are gonna send Jubilost for that one. And use a crisis point. There we go. Then we have a mysterious cult that we can send Harem to take care of. And that is all the problems. The rest are opportunities. Yes. And then, let's see, what do we have in the project section? We have also a whole bunch of stuff. This is all not what I'm looking for. Love of the people, no. This one I wanna do for sure. And I want to build the road to Oleg's trading post, so that is Valerie's job. Let's start that project. And then we're gonna rank up Tristian. Let's see. The counselor. Okay, and that will advance time until probably next month. So I'm guessing a number of other events will finish as well during this time. Let's see what happens. Okay, so loyalty has reached rank 3 thanks to the counselor, and there is a whole bunch of messages I'm getting here. Thanks to the counselor and the baron, subjects' loyalty to their ruler has reached new heights. So we are rank 3 in loyalty now, that's great. What else has happened? Let's see. Oh, we gained 100 BP for that. That's great. So the squad sent by the general defeated the bandit gang, returned a portion of their plunder, and discovered a secret cache of stolen jewelry. Very good. Enough time has passed since the Baron agreed to help his companion. It might be a good idea to do it sooner rather than later. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh boy. So I still need to talk to Valerie after her duel. Yes, we did that in 2 episodes ago actually. Okay, I really need to do that. Oh boy. Happy birthday to you, Baron. The Baron's birthday is a special date for our young nation. It's thanks to him that we had the opportunity to claim the stolen lands and establish a new country in Golarion. Today is a day to forget about our troubles and revel in celebration. Today is a day to remember. Shaman the Eldori has sent her best sword lords to participate in friendly combat and demonstrate their skill. Without a doubt, this will be a feast for the eyes. Celebrations were spectacular. Everyone participated in the revelries, from the peasants to the Baron's entourage. +1 community, +1 military, +1 relations, and 20 BP. Oh, that's really cool actually. Cause that is exactly the birthday that we picked. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's it? Okay. We're back to stable. That is very positive. Let's see, we can claim the Kama lands. What are the Kama lands? Oh, we need 275 BP for that, but what are the Camellands? I have no idea which part that is. That's the Gnarl Marches. That is Patax. I'm quite curious. Varnhold, Silverstep. I guess we'll find out when. Oh, here. Ah, okay. This is the Camellands. Okay, so this bottom area. Okay, we have another 3 events going on. An interesting article awaits in the castle. Trade taxes. Some half-elf trading fabric in the capital discovered a loophole again. We can send Tristian to handle that. That would be very nice. Let's see, DC 13, yeah. And then what is the other one? Rusty Dogs. The Rusty Dogs, a team of mercenaries known for their rust-colored armor, have arrived in the barony. The accountants recommend hiring them, while the officers recommend simply coming to an understanding with them. We're gonna send Amiri to deal with that. That should not be too hard. Let Tristian deal with the trade taxes. There we go. And then we need to go to the throne room. Then we need to talk to Valerie. And there was something else that we need to do. Also in the capital, we need to talk to someone else. I need to check the journal because in between kingdom management and all the quests, it's getting a bit overwhelming. So, Jaethal looks to be puzzled and amused at the same time. Your Grace, I've brought you an extremely unusual message. It's, how should I put it, an essay on your barony. Written by Jubilost Nartropple and published only recently. I thought you might like to see it for yourself. And we received the Independence magazine. Oh boy. Is that it? Or no, there is, of course there is more. Buchan! Good day, I came to tell you that I'm doing fine in my little shop. Our folk love their ruler, and if their beloved Baron buys old Buchan's potions, he's certainly a worthy alchemist. You see, I told you from the beginning, Buchan. Becoming the court alchemist is good for business. And we get a potion of displacement. We're getting so many potions and we're never using potions, scrolls, wands, any of that stuff actually. Okay, let's read our essay. Have you ever dreamed of becoming a baron? It's not that hard. All you have to do is go to the Stolen Lands, a tiny region located between Brevoy and the River Kingdoms, and a source of dispute for those two for many years. Miles and miles of woods, swamps, and infertile clay soils, infested with monsters and bandits. Something like a whited elephant. One can't hold it, but also can't give up on it and let the neighbor have it. For many years, the rest of Sword Lords have been promising a title to anyone who manages to bring some resemblance of order to this God's forsaken land. This is just the usual way rulers solve their problems. There are plenty of adventure seekers, and you can always find another naive brave soul who'd gladly risk his or her life without prepayment. There were many who took the bait. Their sun-bleached bones still litter the banks of muddy lakes and lie in piles under crooked trees. You can imagine how astonished I was then when someone managed the feat, breaking the antlers of a local kingpin called the Stag Lord, and turning the bandits' fort into the capital of a new barony. Of course, I departed for these lands immediately, to witness with my own eyes the one who managed to install control over the stolen lands. Okay, well, that's not too bad. To be honest, I was expecting worse from Jubilost. Where is he? Can we talk to him about it? I've read your article about the barony. Should I be flattered? Flattery is entirely foreign to my works. Everything that I write is the absolute truth and never intended to satisfy egos. But in case you were wondering, yes, I'm impressed with what you've done. Right then. So, Valerie. Where is Valerie? She's not in here, right? Oh, she is. Ah, yeah. Of course she's anxious. She's standing right next to me, looking at me like, hey, hey, talk to me, hey, hey, I have a story to tell. And I'm just ignoring her. How rude. So rude. Gran, you're rude. How do you feel? I see your wound hasn't healed yet. Valerie waves off your words with more haste than prudence. Please don't worry about such trifles. I will visit a priest or an alchemist when time permits. As for now, I feel... I admit I expected no other outcome from this duel. As I've always said, Shaylin's paladins are pompous dolts, capable of little else beyond admiring useless garbage and pining after poetry. Maybe that's a bit exaggerating the result, because I had to pump quite a few potions into you to win that duel. But yeah, luckily I had more potions than your opponent had healing hand ability. I should thank you, Grand Blackforge. It's important to me that you were at my side. Now I'm sure that I'm finally free from the Order of the Eternal Rose and ready to devote all my time and efforts to our mission. Yeah, that's about it. Does that fulfill the quests? Yes, it does. Okay. Let me now quickly check the journal, because... okay, the Verdant Chambers, we need to go there alone. We need to look at Lake Candlemere, yes. We need to give that whip back to the mage. And we need... ah yeah, we need to talk to Ineo, the merchant who had the dagger. Where is he? Is he in the... Let's see, maybe he's also standing here looking at me in the throne room, waiting for me to talk to him. You know, with his hand in the air, finger pointed to the sky, like, pick me, pick me! And nobody does. Tristian, Keston, Castle, Jubilost. Maybe we just need to locate Jaethal. Maybe that's enough as well, I'm not sure. Ah, okay, that explains it. He's flat, as I expected. Jaethal touches the boxes that hold the merchant's wares. Her moves seem relaxed until you notice that her undead fingers are tensed and bent like the claws of a predator. It's pointless. Illogical. Those children in the woods could hardly be expected to kill us. Why the performance? There must be something. Jaethal freezes, then in an instant she pulls a note from Eneo's wares. She glances at it and silently hands it to you. There's only one phrase on the note, no way out, and the image of a spiral comet in place of a signature. Do you know this symbol? Of course, the spiral comet is a symbol of Pharasma. Long ago, my goddess managed to break free from the grip of the Lady of Graves. Ever since, she treats Urgatoa's very existence as a personal affront. The half-blood must be a particularly zealous follower of Pharasma. He's already tried to kill me twice. Whatever Aneo believes, he has no right to lie and drag people unwittingly into his holy war. Perhaps he's both fanatic and fool. He struck me down like a coward in the wastelands, only to see me rise again with renewed strength. Then he used those unfortunate youngsters against me, only to fail again. A lack of scruples can be a strength, but not if one lacks will. Thank you for your help. Will not distract you further. I will seek out this amateur backstabber and will inform you immediately of any news. If the half-blood wants to dispatch me to his goddess, let him do it in person. Okay, that's another one in the books. So let's take a quick look at the journal again. I think there was a... Ah yes, that book, but this one. She's in the South Gnarl Marches, so we need to talk to her. Let's do that right now. And then we'll see if there is places that are nearby that we can visit as well. Greetings! As you see, I've already set up shop. Took a lot of work, of course, but now I've got a nice place. No worse than a guild smithy. So tell me about that idea you had about a family relic and a masterpiece. Here's the story. Our family used to have a suit of plate armor named Onslaught. My grandfather wore it to perform many heroic deeds. What a great dwarf he was. But it's been stolen by my own brother Kurgan. And then Kurgan fled. Onslaught has been on my mind ever since. I intended to bring the relic back to the clan and restore my good name. After you hired me, one merchant told me he saw some fragments of armor that looked like Onslaught. Kurgan is such a fool. He couldn't find a buyer for the whole suit, it's too valuable. So he pawned it off piece by piece. Someone got the jambards, another got the gauntlets, a third got the cuirass. A fine set of armor turned into a pile of junk. Fancy junk. See if you can find my grandfather's armor and bring it back. Promise I will repay you. Turns out 3 local merchants have 3 parts of the armor. They're like vultures pulling apart a corpse. They buy whatever catches their eye, not caring whether it's stolen or not. One merchant seems to be in the capital, another was staying at some trading post. It's got an owner with a strange name. The third one is always prowls in distant corners looking to buy valuables on the cheap. I believe he has an acquaintance, Huntress Dumra. She might well have it. I want to know more about you. Why, it's an honor to indulge your interest. What would you care to know? What has led you to this lands? That's a bad story. My clan has always been proud of its strong blood. My grandfather was a legend, my father was a worthy master, and I dare to hope, haven't failed my family. But my brother Kurgan, he's always been a scallywag. A scallywag, okay. Always running off somewhere looking for trouble. Soon after he came of age, he did something terrible. He stole a clan relic, the armor of my respected grandfather, and took off. It was a disgrace. Everyone looked at me like I was the bad seed because I was the brother of the one who laughed at tradition and desecrated the glory of our family. Eventually I decided I'd had enough. Packed up my things and left the house looking for a new place, where people wouldn't always be looking at me and whispering. That's how I ended up here. Well, someone thinks this story is boring. Tell me about your family. Waradash is a decent, respectable clan. We're considered especially honored, standing out even from among other clan families. My grandfather accomplished many feats in his time, and my father won respect and honor in many battles. trying hard to be worthy of this legacy, especially since I'm carrying the load for two. Tell me about your craft. Our people are masters of making armor and weapons, everyone knows that. We can equip a fighter so that he can fight for hours without getting tired or suffering any wounds. Many have tried to copy our designs and methods, but they're just imitators who don't understand the intricacies of the craft. Do you like it in my lands? Well, what can I say? There's quite a lot of troublemakers here. The ones who get called honorable aren't exemplary law-abiding citizens. I guess it's what lands like these do to people. I'm in a hurry, we'll talk later. Shaynih'a's happy to see you, O most worthy one. Rest your legs and listen to my stories, that is if you got nothing more important to do, such as assisting me in a delicate situation. What sort of help do you need? This was written by my father. It was meant for a family that has lived for centuries near the home of my relatives in Absalom. Life has scattered us all across Golarion, but we never gave up hope and reuniting with those we once knew so well. My father asked me to pass this letter to a member of this fine family, should I ever happen to stumble across one. As I have recently discovered, one of them lives nearby, the noble Hasuf trades in your capital. I confess I am too nervous to meet him. I fear that my anxiety will cause me to behave inappropriately, and may disgrace myself for it. Would you assist me in fulfilling my duty and deliver him this letter? I do not believe that my heart can be at peace until this letter is delivered. One cannot be a master when beset by such distraction. I would like to know more about you. I'm flattered. Where should I begin? How did you end up here? Have you heard of Rudrakavala? High in the Vudrani mountains lies the Adhar monastery. Its monks are pious and devout. Their duty is to feed a dead man whose green skin body floats over a black metal altar as he meditates. That's a bit of an odd duty, don't you think? So, what do you do for a living? Well, I feed a dead man whose green skin body floats over a black metal altar. What do you do? I work in the convenience store. At the register. Oh, interesting. Back when Rudrakavala was alive, he was the vilest of the Rakshasa. However, one day he stepped upon a riverbank and became a seeker of truth. And thus he stood for 1,000 years unmoved. A massive ant hive grew around him, but this did not concern Rudrakavala. 1,000 years passed, and Diu Mazul, the god of war, came to visit him, and offered Rudrakavala any reward, for he'd shown great merit. The Rakshasa demanded all 8 of the god's swords. Upon receiving them, he chased Diu Mazul into a dungeon and, content with himself, set down the rest. Soon the other gods realized that war has left them, for it was much more difficult to resolve conflicts and maintain order, and so they began to seek for the missing god. To be precise, they found a young hero and tasked him with finding and rescuing Diu Mazul. But he was terrified by the sight of the mighty 3-headed Rakshasa. While one head was reading Misravad Brahmodia, the second was puffing on a hookah, while the third was sipping wine. The hero didn't stand a chance in battle, but the Rakshasa's bride fell in love with the hero. Of course she did. It is she that stands before you today. I put Rudrakavala to sleep with fragrant incense, while my prince took one of his swords and severed all 3 heads of the Rakshasa's heads. I hid the heads in secret places where my groom could not find them. The memory of my treachery remains in one of his heads. I hope that it will never find its way back to his shoulders. but I'd best stay as far away as possible in case that ever happens. So I prayed to the gods, and trusting in them, I jumped over the ocean, landing in Varisia. From there, my feet carried me here. It seems to me there are quite a few exaggerations in your stories. Oh, they often say this about the Vudrani. Know then that the gods have given me such lessons in humbleness that it is quite against my nature to lie and spread falsehood. Have you ever been to Nizwan? It's the capital of the island of Jalmarai, a city of 1,000 rooftops above which flutters 1,000 silk banners. Not water, but the finest wines flow from their magnificent jade fountains. Oh, well, that's something I want to implement. Some fountains that spew beer, like dwarven ale fountains. Yep, that's gonna be in my capital, and that's gonna be in my throne room. Yep, right next to my throne. There isn't a city more beautiful in this world. Well, there isn't a fountain more beautiful than a dwarven ale fountain. But Nizwan's greatest jewel is its House of Perfection monasteries, wherein the world's finest warriors train. Once the Monastery of the Unblinking Flame became jealous that the Monastery of the Unfolding Wind was known as the House of the Greatest Masters. Many turned down the invitations of the Unblinking Flame in order to join their white-robed rivals. The Monastery of the Unblinking Flame swore to make them pay for the insult. In the streets, the markets, and the palaces, the red-clad monks would insult the white ones, provoking them to bloody duels. Nizwan shook as if from an earthquake. Trust me, for I witnessed it myself. In that life, I was an arrogant master of the Unblinking Flame, and my pride demanded war. I knew that my days were numbered and desired nothing but to see the Unblinking Flame triumph. In my arrogance, I could not see how much suffering I brought to the people. Those who were struck by a monk's fist fell and did not rise again, and those who were touched by a priest's finger were permanently crippled in body and mind. We fought with honor, seeking to demonstrate our mastery, not murder our enemy, while the townsfolk died by the thousands, and we did not care. Our students, however, secretly arranged a tournament of Unseen Mercy, which took place on a bridge over an abyss. They fought, and it was agreed that the losers would be shown no mercy, and their bodies would be thrown down into the abyss. By dawn, the bridge was completely empty. It was then that we, the masters, saw how arrogance had weakened our houses and deprived us of our fortune, of our future. The ambitions of the past were all that remained. It was a bitter lesson, and it was then that I swore in all of my incarnations to always be humble and straightforward. I have since kept my promise, no matter how strongly I may wish to embellish my story. Well, that's quite a story. Tell me of Fudra. Of the kingdoms of 1,000 wonders, where should I begin? Oh, in the year 0, probably. But that's where you're gonna begin. I'm gonna be here for hours. Tell me of your homeland. Fudra is a land of wonders never seen in your realm, as witnessed by the 10,000 lines of Mizrav Bramoidia. Jesus Christ. As recorded by the wise Balazitrin from the words of the goddess Lika. I'm so happy that this is taking place in the Stolen Kingdoms and not in Fudra, because I would butcher every single name. I'm doing it right now, actually, even. So imagine what a campaign in Fudra would be like. Fudra is 50,000 years old. That means that it is far older than the rest of the world, which grew up around Fudra to become its outer mantle. Like shells and weeds grow upon the bottom of a ship. Well, that's quite funny, because here in Belgium we have one province called Antwerp. And they also have a saying that Antwerp is the city and the rest of Belgium is the parking lot. And they're quite serious about that, actually. It is the land of genie, monks, wondrous beasts, and gods, of course. Fudra is home to thousands of gods, while in other lands they worship mere dozens. The perfect human is the head of the pantheon. He is called Irori, the master of masters. Among the gods, he is as a Maharaja, ruling Fudra and all of its Mahajanapadas. Or kingdoms, as you call them. Yeah, why don't you just say kingdoms? Each kingdom has its own Raja. The wealth and glory of even the feeblest among them is such that would make even the wealthiest of your rulers rage and envy. Trust me, for I was once a Rani myself. You talked about the treasures of your homeland. How would one go about trying to find them? Greed is a dangerous thing. Have you ever heard of the consortium of Espis, O worthy one? It's the union of the greediest merchants of all Kaliaks. The head of the consortium in Fudra learned of an abandoned palace of the Princess Shaya, rumored to be filled with fabulous riches. He hired guides and porters and set out for the palace, and the treasures they found there exceeded their wildest expectation. But their robbery had not gone unnoticed. They had awakened an evil spirit that sped towards them, taking the form of a white cobra. The Aspis realized that they would pay dearly for their greed and ran as fast as they could. The foolish Fudrani who had helped them ran as well. They built ships and fled their homes. Many turned to piracy, and you can find them still in the protectorate of the Black Marquise, now known as the Mandagara League. Woe is the fate of thieves and outcasts. Others settled in Karmaga and Varizia. It was they who took the pyramid box from the palace and hid it from the consortium. The box is covered in the finest oil and carried by dead men. Inside the box lives the child goddess. Trust me, for the child goddess spoke to me once. Of course it did. And foretold me that you and I were destined to meet. The Vudrani hope that the deity's protection will save them, and it is this box that the evil spirit seeks. It has since transformed into a demonic ship, and it comes into ports by night. Sailors who look like crocodiles search the towns, and the ship is gone by dawn. There will come a day when the ship finds Karmaga's port, and the Vudrani will pay dearly for their greed. Fudra knows how to protect its treasures, and it's best not to seek them, O worthy one. You are a ruler? Yes, I am one of the Raja caste, although I have lost all my lands. I once disturbed an ancient city of the dead, one that lay hidden deep in the jungle. A great evil returned with me to my kingdom. The macaques of Sikari, diseased and rabid, swarmed the land. They roll like an enormous wave, engulfing and destroying everything in their path. They called this horror the Crimson Wind. My warriors went forth boldly, but were overrun. The walls of my palace steadily absorbed their attack, but in the end they turned to dust. I was preparing to die, but the Red Wind suddenly fled in terror, banished by a strange traveler. It was a Vanara, half man and half monkey, and he wore the orange robe of a priest. I wished to thank him, but he had little interest in my treasures. He offered me to play the wise man's game of Barm, or Barmy, and if he won, then I would have to give him my throne. I agreed, for how could I say no to my savior? He easily outwitted me, hiding 4 pieces up his sleeve, while I only managed to brush one off the table and stash another one in my pocket. I ordered my guards to seize the Vanara and put him in chains, as I had no wish to give up my throne, but by dawn the monk had fled his prison. He'd used his tongue to lick a hole in his manacles. That's quite impressive. I knew then that the monk was Ragdia, the monkey god, a sage, a petty thief, and the lover of 100 brides. Trust me, for I have met many gods and know of what I speak. I gave Ragdia my throne along with my apologies and set out to wander. Do you enjoy living in my lands? This is a wondrous land. You have such strange cuisine and kobolds, incredible creatures. We didn't have them in Vudra. And those insolent creatures, squirrels. Never seen such fierce creatures. But this land lacks order. The gods grant Vudra castes. You have none here, and that is why there is no order. For when you meet a member of the lowest caste, you know that they only barely deserve to be born human. In their previous lives they were animals, or maybe even a vile thing like kobolds, who are lower than even the lowliest beggars. Trust me, for I have more than once faced their wicked nature. Whereas when you encounter a member of a higher caste, be he a Padapriyana, warrior, or the Raja, as you and I, that signifies that in our past lives we were pious and noble, that our words were strong and true. It is that understanding that these lands lack. Well, I'm not about to implement a caste system. It's just my opinion. Okay. So now we have to run back to the capital and deliver a letter. Like, I'm the frickin' Baron. Don't I have people to do this? Like, you know, Jaethal, take this letter to this merchant. Why do I have to do that stuff? Alright, here we are with Hasuf. Vudrani asked me to give you this letter. She claimed that your families know each other. As soon as you finish speaking, Hasuf snatches the letter from your hands and immediately breaks the seal. Quickly running his eyes along the lines, his face grows pale and his hands clench. He takes his time ripping the letter into tiny pieces, enjoying the process. Damn that disgusting wretch and that entire family. They decide to send me a letter, as though I don't know that only poison trickles from their mouths. You probably did not know what was in the letter, all the better. You shouldn't burden yourself with a feud between families living on opposite sides of the world. You did your part, and I'm grateful to you, for at least for caring to deliver this letter to me. Though it was written by traitors, your intentions were pure, of that I'm certain. So let's see, do I now have to return again? Yeah, of course I do. Cause I got nothing better to do, right? Got nothing better to do. Well, we're gonna return to Tarkandor and then see what happens. I'm pleased to see you again, O worthy one. What brings you to me? Hasuf tore the letter into shreds, all the while cursing your family. He wasn't pleased? How sad. This reminds me of a story that took place a long time ago. Please let me enlighten you, O worthy one. There once lived a mighty warrior by the name of Korkor. His mother was a white shark and his father the most lustful, the most inventive of all mortals. Korkor invented his fearlessness from his father, and from his mother his strength and thirst for blood. His skin was white as milk, and his sharp, crooked teeth grew in 3 rows. There wasn't a warrior in the world who was stronger and more warlike, and he served the Maharaja loyally. One day, Korkor defeated the poisonous dragon Sruvara, who turned rice fields into nauseating marshes. But Korkor did not notice that Sruvara had scraped his white skin with a talon. Infection entered the hero's body, and he grew weak. He lay down to rest and remained there for 1,000 years. Nothing could awaken him, even all the strife brought on by the fight with Kotogas, the dance of disharmony. Once he finally awoke from his slumber, Korkor discovered that his homeland had been ravaged by this terrible attack, and he'd slept through the battle. Disgraced, he moaned and set off for a faraway gorge. where he would deliver his body to the scorpions, that they might eat his flesh and hide him from shame. For 3 months the scorpions ate his white skin and ruby flesh, but still the warrior endured. Even when he was eaten, Korkor did not die, for he was truly great. It was then that Bunda, the singing butcher, came to him. The immortal Rakshasa told him that great was Korkor's shame, but more shameful still would be to run from it like a coward, rather than atone for it. Korkor's spirits were rekindled, he arose and, through sheer force of will, forged himself a new body out of iron. He accomplished many great deeds thereafter, and in the end he regained his position of honor and nobility. As you can see, both honor and disgrace may live in the same body, even though it may belong to a person of words. Why then cannot my family's deeds be both honorable and disgraceful at the same time? Yes, my kinsmen have spilled much blood, trying to destroy Hasuf's family, but it was also they who first decided to seek out peace. I am grateful that I have been able to fulfill my duty no matter the price. Go now, a worthy one, for my heart has gained peace and my mind attained clarity, which is so important to a true master. Until we meet again, O worthy one, it shall happen sooner than you think, the perfect human has told me. Alright. Ensure that nothing distracts Shaynih'a. How should I do that? Let's hope that nothing gets in her way this time. Okay, well. Let's quickly go to the mage and give him back his whip. That's another quest that we can remove from the list. Is he here? That's the question. Yes, he is. Okay. Sup, Bartholomew? Bartholomew has managed to clean up the mess after the troll attack in his laboratory. The wizard is packing his items, books, files, manacles, and needles, carefully wrapping his things in cloth before placing them in crates. He turns as he notices you approach. Oh, your grace, so good to see you alive and well. Let me congratulate you on another brilliant victory. Would you perhaps permit me one small request? I sense you've recovered something of mine. Here it is. Take it. The Witcher... Yes, the Witcher shows up and... hello, Geralt. The wizard snatches the whip from your hands and stops just short of kissing it. It's unharmed. Excellent, excellent. He carefully coils his treasure, wraps it in a clean cloth and bundles the package with a crisscrossed cord. You have my eternal gratitude. Bartholomew places a bag of coins in your hands. You can't imagine what that thing means to me. Packing? Are you leaving us soon? Yes, your grace, it's become too dangerous to stay here, even with your protection. I'll have to find someplace safe and quiet. I have an offer for you. Stay as one of my advisors. There are so few people who see things in such a critical and rational way. Bartholomew stops packing and looks at you incredulously. Then he looks at the stack of books in his hand and keeps silent for a long time, figuring something out in his mind. Finally, Bartholomew sighs and puts his book aside. I cannot refuse such an offer. Of course, your grace, I shall enter your service. After all, it's such a rare opportunity. He looks around his packed bags and smirks. Seems all this packing was unnecessary. I'll not take the laboratory with me. Prefer a lighter journey to the capital. As soon as I pack the essentials and lock up the house, I'll head straight for the city. See you there. Okay, so we are now at the lone house. So I was thinking, why not go to Candlemere Tower, I need to check Candlemere Lake to find the child. So I'm guessing I want to go there. And that will probably be the last area that I visit in this episode. And then after that, I will go to the Mud Bowl. And from there to the Swamp Witch's hut. And then back to the capital, I guess. That's another couple of quests that I can cross off my list. But let's first see what's up at Candlemere Tower. So let's see. The boat is in good condition. It looks like it was used not too long ago. Let's see.
What's that? I am your shield.
Oh, that's good to know. So what is it that we discovered actually? Was it that box? There is something else over here. Uh-huh. A note wrapped in an oiled letter. Okay, let's check that as well. Coals are already cold. Alright. We came to this island at dusk, decided to spend the night at the shore and go inland at dawn. We've seen some lights floating over the underbrush. For some reason they don't approach, keep their distance from us. Tomorrow we'll head for the ruins. The cleric and the paladin who hired me to guide them keep aloof. They exchanged whispers about something hidden in these ruins and fall silent as soon as I come close. We've come here to search for treasures for a man called Gunderson, but these two seem to have some plans of their own. It would bother me less if Riznel wasn't a cleric of Nettis. People say that the moods and methods of his followers change as often as those of their two-faced god. For now, at least, the cleric behaves nicely, except for constant frantic speeches about the ruins. Anyway, Britt is a paladin of Irori, so I guess I can rely on his sense of justice. We've heard many strange things about that take place on Candlemere Lake. A few days ago, local folk saw a bright flash of light over the tower at the island. No one could explain what it was. Another strange thing I witnessed myself. When we were coming to the island on our boat, I noticed an old geezer on the shore. This island is thought to be deserted. I guess the geezer saw us too because he disappeared. I would track the old hermit down, but I don't dare to leave the campsite unattended. Can't help thinking this island is really cursed, as locals used to say. If the curse is just a fable and if Riznel doesn't try any tricks, we'll come back here and I'll take this note away. If you find this note, traveler, hop on your boat and go back where you came from. Mori Fokri. Well now, it looks like someone didn't return. Alright, let's see what we can find.
In due time.
There is a bunch of big flowers.
Let's finish them quick.
Ooh. A war wisp. Okay. I see. Well, and this looks like tentacles, so... Yeah, they look ready to attack us, grab us and do something with us at least. It's a strange looking vegetation here, look at all that. But we can't really do a lot of traveling about. Kinda have to stay to the main path. Oh, there we go again. Well, they don't last long. That's positive, at least. And they don't leave any loot. These opponents suck. There is a campfire of some sort. Let's read a torn, damp page. I've described the plant and the wound it caused as soon as I could. I hope in the future I'll be able to show these notes to some druid. Hey, that's me! To learn more about this stuff. I should have known better than to go in a bush thicket. The slope was steep and it was dangerous to climb here anyway. Even if these lights creatures won't bother us. Rizmal started to behave strangely early this morning. He acted like a real madman, made me search for the shortcut to the ruins, then refused to heal me when I got wounded by the thorn. Damn priest constantly pushes us ahead. Supposedly he had a message from Nettis himself, and while his god is waiting for him in the tower, the cleric has no time for petty matters. I'm starting to believe all those rumors about the followers of Nettis and their unreliability were true. I wanted to turn back, leave the gold where it belongs, but Britt persuaded me to keep moving forward. According to him, this Gunderson guy had got the wrong meaning of the word treasure. Paladin is convinced that the treasure, which really is hidden in the tower, is some priceless magic knowledge that left here by the ancient dwellers of the island, but he's not sure he can get to the place through the tickets without my help. If I had it in my way, I'd just leave this mess as it is. I seriously doubt our client is interested in some dusty old books. But this argument won't work for the cleric who worships the god of magic, and the paladin who serves a god of knowledge. Britt tried to heal my wound by himself. As a result, it's almost closed but still stings bitterly. I hope it's a passing side effect, because at least for now I have no way back. Okay, so there seems to be a shortcut into... Let's see, someone already tried... yeah, let's try an athletics check.
That was easy.
Well, there you go. Ooh, there is a box. Cannot grab it for some reason.
I am prepared.
Can one person go there? No. Okay, wait, let's just see if we can figure out if there is a way up here somehow.
All according to plan.
Because otherwise, what was the point in coming to this side? It's a bit odd, in my opinion. That doesn't do much. That doesn't do much either. Or we might have just missed it.
Can you make an epic pose? I need inspiration.
This should do it.
I think we probably just missed the perception check or something, I don't know.
I know what to do.
That's good news, Gran. Do you have a potion? You do. Alright.
Follow my lead.
Let's see if we can reach that thing now. Oh, someone is running over there.
In due time.
To victory!
I'm writing you out of our story.
Okay.
That is not far.
Oh, looks like we left some more loot behind. What did we miss? Oh, a will-o-wisp that left something behind. Great.
As it should
There
be.
is another
We will
body.
prevail!
Calm down. Not dead yet.
Gran, maybe you should drink another potion.
I'm wounded.
Yeah, apparently.
My path at an end.
Calm down. Not dead yet.
Why are they targeting me? Where am I? Let's move over there with Gran.
This was not part of the plan.
Damn it. Are we done? We are done. Okay. Alright, we're back and we're healed somewhat. And maybe now we can reach this box.
And then our leader charged forward. Hey, wait for me. Applause, please.
That's a warhammer, okay. And there is this body lying around. Let's see, only the last page is readable. Left me behind, I begged them to stay. Rismel doesn't care, Nettis has turned a dark face to him. So the cleric is lost to us. Brit promised to come back, but it's been a long time since he left and he hasn't showed up yet. I just hope the paladin survived and managed to save himself at least. These are the last words of my log. The wound is festering, some yellow stuff oozes from it. I couldn't climb the rock and reach the ruins. Guess now I won't be able to even stand. My skin burns and I can barely breathe. I'll die on this cursed island. And no one will ever know where I've spent my last hours. Left alone? But I'm not alone. Damned lights in the underbrush, they're closer now. I'm not delirious, they came for my death. Lights watch, want my pain. Aristil, take my soul. Okay. Let's do a quick save and then climb that hill. So we're upstairs now. And there is more of them. Damn, they really hit quite hard. We might have to strategically retreat from this location for a moment. Stock up on potions and come back.
Running won't help you! This body holds no more!
Can we rest here? That is the question. Alright, we are back. Let's get our ass kicked some more. The stone is covered with drawings of jagged black spirals.
How curious.
A dead warrior in full armor with Irori holy symbols lies on the ground. He was backstabbed. That sucks. Cannot continue.
All according to plan.
Let's move in, see what happens. Find some place to hide for the rain. Ooh, there is a portal. Oh, there is Rizmel as well. What's up, Rizmel? A man stands in the center of the half-ruined hall. He is motionless. His eyes are closed, head tilted as if he was listening to something inaudible. He's clad in tattered black and white robe, though mud and dust made his clothes look almost uniformly gray. Hearing your footsteps, the man shudders and turns abruptly. The left part of his face is covered in blood and dirt. Seeing you, he gives a low growl in his throat. Trespassers, he spits on the ground. Are you so eager to die? Oh, Arya. The man stares at you for several moments, then he suddenly grins and raises his eyebrows in mockery. Who am I? Oh, soon the whole world will know my name. Two-faced Rizmel, keeper of the gates, harbinger of Nettis. I have many names, and you shall pay fealty to all of them. The all-seeing eye has brought me here to this sanctuary of magic. Others came, and they did not survive the trials. I am the only one who hears the words of Nettis and can open the gates for him. then the all-seeing eye will reward his chosen. I will become a lord in his new era. Rismal's eyes turn glassy and dull as he keeps talking, and his speech becomes a stream of barely understandable words. It's impossible to distinguish which part of his ramblings is true and which represents his delirious fantasies. Nonetheless, the madman seems to lose interest in attacking you right now. An enchanted sanctuary, gates to other worlds, they are here, in these ruins. Silence! You're too blind to see what surrounds you. Vibrant, bright, glorious to those who have embraced the arcane and mastered its power. Nettis himself led me here, his voice rings in my head, calling from the portal. All these writings, all these wandering lights, only the blind cannot see the coming of the all-seeing eye. So watch your tongue. The moment nears when I open the portal and let Nettis into this world. Fear my lord's wrath, for there will be no escape for blasphemers. Will-o-wisps roam the island. How did you get past them? Will-o-wisps don't devour flesh. They feed on suffering and fear. The island is full of them. Since the times when this temple was sanctified with human blood. Besides, there is no fear in my heart, only joy and awe. For I was to meet my god and master. Some say this place is cursed. Cursed? Only fools can claim this place is cursed. On the contrary, this tower, this portal, it's true blessing for those who can grasp its real greatness. Yeah, shall we try this? So the great Nettis is just beyond this portal, yet the god of magic can't cross over on his own? Ha! One more word, insect, and you'll witness it yourself. Let's assume Nettis waits beyond the portal, but what's beyond the portal exactly? Can you feel it? No, of course you can't. The whole tower bears marks of the arcane. Look around you. Can you not see these writings? In ancient times, believers knew a portal lay here, so they left signs heralding the arrival of Nettis. What do the writings say? I'll find out when he comes. When he shares his boundless wisdom with me, I'll find out everything I want. Where are the others you came here with? You're talking about those who came to the island with me. They are gone. One of them gave up halfway here. I know nothing of his fate. And the second, the miserable creature, he kept talking. How knowledge must belong to everyone. Wisdom should be shared. About telling others about this place. He kept talking and talking, so I silenced him. Rismal, no matter if this island is cursed or not, you're not in the right mind. You don't know what you're doing. How dare you? Nettis himself guides me. How dare you judge the chosen one of the all-seeing eye? As you listen to Rismal, you can't stop wincing. The man's voice is so convincing. His belief so strong that all your doubts about his words just vanish. Seems like this man really follows the path set by his god. I found a corpse on the island. You know the one I speak of. He perished in suffering, terrified, cursing those who left him to die. What did he do to earn your cruelty? Mori, we should have come back for you. But all I've done was for a greater purpose. History will vindicate me. Nothing you say will break my fate. Near the tower entrance lies a paladin, dead, stabbed in the back. You betrayed him by giving in to your own ambition and pride. So who are you? After all you've done, Rismal. What do you want to know? As you look at him, Rismal's face changes. The obsessive gleam in his eyes gives way to astonishment and terror. He throws a haunted look at his surroundings, then touches his face and stares dully at the blood and dirt on his fingers. What have I done? Great Nettis, what a nightmare is this? It can't be. I failed you. Misled by illusions. Darkness took my mind and I... How can I atone for this? All I've done. It's not possible. But the voice that urged me to open the gates. It still sounds inside my head, but it's not Nettis. No, it's not him. It's something else. I would never be able to repay you for your help, stranger, but I must ask you for one more thing. Will you help me confront the creature that waits beyond the portal? We'll be able to open it and let this thing come to Galarian. We have to destroy it before it finds some new prey. When we're done with this, I'll stay here and make sure no living soul ever falls victim to this island. We know nothing about the creature who's waiting on the other side. Give me some time to get ready. I'll wait for you, don't waste your time.
To arms!
Yeah.
That's it? Are you sure you want to stay there on this island? This is my penance. Someone must keep watch over the portal. I won't let anyone else die here or become enslaved by temptation. Now, if your mind is clearer, tell me about this place. This is the place where two worlds connect. The border is razor thin, so it gave birth to a portal. Now it's sealed, but when I was performing a ritual here, I noticed it's easy to open it. Someone must have used this portal before, not too long ago. Can you seal the portal permanently? Alas, I'm not able to do it. The only thing I can do is become a guardian of this portal till the end of my days. Locals claim this island is cursed. Cursed? Definitely not. The tower is full of magic, but cursed? Unless you call a clouded mind a curse of sorts. Thank ya. I've learned all I wanted. I'll leave you be. Okay. Well now. This is a closed portal in the center of the room. It seems it was used not long ago. Alright. Let's see if we are attacked some more around here. Let's see if we can maybe find this child somewhere. That would have been quite nice.
Stand against
Oh, there's more of them.
No strike wasted.
Sweet syrup. Mmm. Okay, so that is that. So we've seen everything up here, it seems. Oh wait, there is Duke Dazzle Flare. There seems to be something that we can loot. Ah, yes. Let's grab that. Cypress Queen's Flute belonged to an ancient fae. I think we might have a number of items from the Cypress Queen now. I have to check when I'm back in the capital. And that's gonna be the end of this episode. As always, Thank you very much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, by all means, leave a like, leave a subscription. I would love to reach 100 subscriptions till, I don't know, the end of this year. So, if you're enjoying the content, by all means, follow along. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you in the next video.